Yo, check the timeline. 20R2 fresh out the mud. Military bound, 19-hour flight through the hood to Korea. Almost tossed out, lost my foot and couldn't see clearer. Then a mentor stepped in, saved me from the mirror, yeah. That was the wake-up, cold truth, hit the soul. Discipline, ownership, self-investment took control. 20R fold, grandma's 92 caddy, 9 G's.
There he is.
Collateral.
What's going on, baby?
Look good, man.
Always gotta look good for the camera, baby.
All right, so currently right now we are at Ensign. We have our investors. This right here is a JV. JV means joint venture. It's not a syndication. We have about 7 total owners of this property here, about 100 units right here in Enos, outside about 30 miles south of DFW. This right is a Class A, where we talk about legacy, generational wealth. These are the assets that we look for, newer assets that we can put inside of our trust, right? So we can hold these properties 10 years, 15, 20 years, and these properties right here will continue to produce income for us over and over and over. That's all it's about, you know what I'm saying? And we can keep these properties, we can refinance them, you know, hold these properties, refinance, support the cash out. It should continue to appreciate as we continue to increase rents year over year. We'll continue to increase rents 3%, 2%, 4%, whatever the market can stand at a time. But the good thing about this, we purchased this one here under leverage. We got about, you know, this is what we call a bridge to term. So we already have permanent debt locked in, already ready, set. Which we'll be doing a Freddie loan of this. And then, yeah, that's good assets. This right here is called Legacy. This inside Legacy property. We got all the owners out here. We got some of my people out here with the community. I got my partners out here. As we've been out here all week here in Dallas, working and talking about how we create generational wealth. So let's get going. Let's go. Let's go.
Take y'all seat.
It's already configured, so they have like multiple outlets.
You gotta show a 3-bedroom. You wanna go show a 3-bedroom? Inside. Congratulations to all of y'all. Thank y'all for the events and also y'all coming out here. I know Paula, she's kind of like from the area. Those you know that we kind of did the demographics on this. If you look at the map of DFW, you look at down I-45 taking straight to Houston. There's a mic that probably came up I-45. All right, you see Buc-ee's right there. You see the big Buc-ee's. All right, that's telling you that growth is coming. All right. If you look at the map of DFW, you're looking at demographics. You know that we are focusing on areas that we can that are growing. The best properties that you can purchase are properties that are in that path of progress. Right. So we talk about path of progress. Anywhere in Dallas is growing, but there's a really red pocket, meaning there's like a lot of like it's booming, right? Like 20% plus. Here, from here all the way down to 287, this right here condensed all the way to 287, which goes all the way to Mansfield. Across that whole highway, there's you got Mansfield going down, you got Midlothian, we got properties out there, you got Waxahachie, and this right here kind of where 287 starts on I-45. So you look in that pocket there, you'll see like a 20% plus growth coming just 5 years. I'll let Ben tell you a little bit more. He'll give you more details too. And then you look at the north of DFW when you want to know all the way north. So you're talking about Frisco and Prosper and Salino and all those areas right there. They boom. They're probably like 25, 26% growth. So this right here is going to happen absolutely. In fact, when we had one of the properties lakeside and just talking to everybody what's going on. There's a lot of permits, there's a lot of properties that just went on pause. How many units they got, you think? Just in this area, how many units they talking about coming online?
On 287 alone, it was like thousands of units, but a lot of those are single family developments, but a lot of them have been shelved. They've been on pause and with almost like indefinite, I think is what they said. So indefinite start dates on a lot of the projects. That's on 287 there. So
yeah, and tell them a little bit about like why we like it here.
I like Ensign. So this is Ennis, not the seat of Ellis County. That's Waxahachie, the town over. But Waxahachie had a big boom in supply in the last couple of years. So some of our other properties we have there, have been struggling with the occupancy because of the saturation. That's kind of subsiding over in Waxahachie. Here, they didn't build like they did in Waxahachie. Waxahachie kind of built up first, like Waxahachie and Mansfield. And then you have, in between that, you have Midlothian and Ennis, kind of in between those two big pockets that didn't get a lot of growth, didn't get a lot of supply. So in Ennis, which is where we are, they're just starting now. So we have the brand new high school right there. Across the street over here, brand new police station. When we were doing due diligence on this, they were still like moving into the brand new police station. Like that's how new it is over there, and that's right across the street. 287 is the main corridor to this the southern side of DFW. So much traffic is off 287. So the game plan is how close can you be to 287, and it's right there. You can see it from here. So that's really big. And then when we went to the Chamber of Commerce and Economic Development, they're talking about the billions of dollars that's going into the downtown restoration. They're bringing back Main Street, making it walkable, bringing in the shops, the restaurants downtown. They're doing some overpass reconstruction to make downtown more walkable, more friendly. So that's in the works. And I don't remember the exact names, but they do have a few big companies that are relocating here and expanding, billions and billions of dollars of new development that are bringing jobs to this area. And with that, this property was built when we're looking at all the other construction, or a lot of it is still paused. So even if they started building today on those plans that were approved, we're still 2-3 years out from delivery from any new supply, but we're still growing at double digits, 20% year over year, and we're already here in the market, first mover here. So that's what really attracted us to this, and the cost basis, right? You can't be $129,000 a door, in this market.
Yeah. And when you speak on $129 a door, this obviously an off-market deal. Just put it in just think about how crazy the deal we got was that there's nothing this will trade, this product this year will trade nowhere near that. In fact, I can't really see them building this, even at the time they built it. So they probably built it right at 129, and that's not even coming, right? And we know the bill's gonna probably be somewhere between 160-ish to build. Just go up further north, it's about 250,000 a door or whatever the case may be, just to build this type of product. It was definitely a great opportunity and great purchase. Long term.
The last two that we looked at were 165, 167. The exact same situation as this. Builder having troubles, need to offer property. Exact same situation like this. And that their break even was 165, 167 a door.
Yeah.
And that was the last two we looked at.
Yeah, and
that was a good deal at that price.
Yeah, that was in like South, like over Mansfield, Crowley. What was the other one at?
Godly.
Godly, yep, exactly. So there's properties that we're seeing that is hitting the market. Like right now, it's a perfect opportunity. It's like a storm. Those of you watch CNBC and all that, y'all see what's about to happen. Rates gonna go down, right? So what we've been doing is we've been buying. We brought Lakeside, which we got good cost basis on that. That's about $180,000 a door for 152 units. So we're gonna do really well there. But then you coming in and grabbing this for 129. Brokers losing their freaking mind. Like, how did y'all get it? Oh yeah, the D got that deal, so one off. Yeah. But you know what I'm saying? Like they hate it, you know, that because they could have easily put this in front of someone. And this deal came to us first, to right here, Bob's on my team, the acquisition team. When the deal came to us, it came to us about 20.5 million. It was getting ready to wrap everything, put a bow on it, and try to sell at 20.5 million. So we was able to go in and through Gabe, he actually came to Gabe somewhere that we met. It's all about relationships, networking. That's why I tell you network, you know what I mean? Because that network was a handshake. The handshake cost us $265,000. So there is another guy that gave us a deal, we gave him $265,000. Gave him $125,000 on the front end. He'll get the other 125, yeah. So he's getting 125, 165, right?
Yeah, on the backside.
On the backside, yeah. So he'll get the other 160, whatever.
For bringing the deal.
Just for bringing the deal. Okay. That's what I love real estate. Just do this right here.
Yeah.
Okay.
$250,000. You know what I mean? That's exactly what it was. Right? You know what I'm saying? And I said, Gabe did a little bit with negotiators. It was a really tough selling. Lived out in Park City, Utah. Developer, came. This one project he had out here went south. Private family office where you got the capital. So you got a developer and private equity, and we have those two, and they start to bump heads and start to do what we call capital calls, right? Because now they put in, they lease it up with not so great tenants, and when you lease something up with not so great tenants, the lenders, what they looking at, what's your coverage, what is the DSCR, can you cover? If you can't cover it, they don't give a darn. If you came in the mortgage payment, they see it came in, you're not gonna refinance, and then guess what? You're gonna have to float that note. You're gonna float that note, and then you got parties say, you know what? It's time for us to get out. Just us talking with him, very unprofessional. You know what I mean? Me, old me, it would have been good for him, but it's cool though when you go through those processes and kind of sit back and you gotta really like Brett. I don't want to deal so good. Just let him talk how he want to talk. He had to talk me pretty good. Vince, he probably had a different experience. I said, he didn't do me too bad, but Vince told me some of the horror stories that he had on the call with him. But long term, we was able to wheel this in, and then the reason the deal took a while because lawsuits started coming back and back. Say right at the closing table, ADA compliance, right? That slowed the deal down, and then we get ready to close again. We buckled that up, and that was $50,000. We agreed. Deal not even our problem. Just to get the deal done, because this guy was like going crazy. It's $50,000 to sell him the lawsuit, which by the person that was suing him was never a resident of this property. Same attorney sued him again. I guess it's a whole business just doing that. But we agreed to come up with $25,000. So we amended. We get him $25,000 on top. We met him in the middle. So all right, let's go close. Boom, another lawsuit come. And so it was just crazy, right? So we just started getting hit like that, but we made it through, working things out. Got the lender comfortable, so we left about 100. What the lender was 100,000 flat.
Yeah, 100,000 flat.
Yeah, so we left about $100,000 right now, still sitting in escrow that we'll get back. just to make sure there's no more lawsuits or anything like that. And again, that's not our problem, but you know what I'm saying, the lender want to be comfortable. So anything come back, are we going to be responsible? No, we should be responsible. Everything is covered within our PSA and everything, and all the attorneys are aware. But our lender, this is crazy, right? We put a couple hundred, $350,000 between me and Vince that we put in the deal, right, off the bat. Call that non-refundable money. So it's out of it. So if the lender get nervous, that's our lender. Say, hey man, we don't want no problems with this mold issue and all that. We walking away. And then if we walk away, we get to keep $350,000 because we deliver. Our lender did deliver. So it was a lot of work dealing with our attorneys, and we had a great team. You know, Vince, Vince, we took this deal. A lot of work. So a lot of work in the backs that y'all don't see to get a deal like this. A lot of negotiation, a lot of different pieces. We have we got 4 attorneys. You got the lender attorneys, you got our attorneys, you got the opinion, you got New York and Delaware attorneys, and so there's 5 attorneys all negotiating. Then you got escrow over here. Then you got the lender. Then you got the brokers. You know what I'm saying? So very, very complex. But you put the right teams together. You know what I'm saying? Everybody just work to try to just get to the finish line. And then we get here, celebrate. You know. But yeah, we're happy with this one. Obviously, we talk about legacy. The good thing about when you get groups, you know, we try to solve for problems. Some of you may have problems. Maybe a cash flow problem. Maybe I pay too much taxes problem. Maybe I want a legacy. You know what I'm saying? Something I'm gonna do with my money. This is a property where it helps solve all that. It'll help you with cash flow. We look at get this thing. Y'all, I'm gonna get real familiar with the terms that we got. We have a bridge to perm, meaning that the lender. This is the type of product that we have. The lender said, okay, we'll give you a bridge debt, which expires in like 2-3 years. But you can, at any time, you can ring the alarm and we can come in and take it to bed, meaning put in a long-term Freddie or is it Fannie? Yeah. It will be a Fannie loan. That means it's going to be 30 years, great terms. That's when all the cash flow kicks in and all that. So a 30-year and 5 or 10 year might. What do we choose? 5 or 10? Maybe 7?
Yeah, we'll probably do 5 or 7.
They're probably do 5 year, 7 year. And the only thing we'll do with this property is number one, create tons of cash flow. We want cash flow coming in, and we want to give you the depreciation, right? We talked about, I talked to some of you about how we can be like, you know, real estate professionals and, you know, certain things like that, reporting and all those things. But yeah, I know I talked a lot, and then what else you got? You got what questions you have? Yeah.
I'm a journalist and an attorney, so I ask a lot of questions. Don't be mad at me for those attorneys that charge a lot of money. Can you give broad strokes about, now we're here 5-7 years, like take me through the arc of where you're gonna
take the property. We're gonna take the property
and then the exit.
And the exit. Okay. All right. So you want to talk about property? I talk about exit.
Yeah. So one of the best things about the bridge loan is that there's not going to be a whole lot of reporting that's going to be required because this property is going to go through a cycle like this. You know, we already talked about like the distressed seller. They were filling the property with, you know, heads and beds without really vetting and just try to get something, Hail Mary, try to get something to work. Well, we're gonna have to go through and clean it up. So when we go through and clean it up, that means the occupancy is gonna dip. We're gonna take all the evictions out. You wanna do that on a bridge loan because if you did that on a permanent debt loan, like Fannie Freddie, there's compliance requirements where every quarter we're sending our financials and reporting them to them. And if they see the occupancy dip below 80%, we could technically be in a default according to their loan provisions, right? So we don't want to do that. So you want to go through that reposition on a bridge loan, get all that out. Once it's stabilized again above 90, usually it's 90 for 90 is what we call it. So 90% occupancy for 90 days, and NOI is stable, collections are stable. That is going to be the trigger for us to call Northmark or Benefit Street rather, and tell them, hey, we're ready to refinance. Let's execute this. Then they're going to go in and do the long-term loan with Fannie Mae. We're going to say we're going to do the 5 or 7, and I'll explain the thought process on that versus a 10-year because it's supposed to be a legacy asset. I'll tell you why in a second. But once we go into the Fannie, and that's going to be usually another 1 or 2 years of IO. So we're going to have a lot of cash flow in year 1 or 2. Then it's going to start amortizing. But by then our LTV is going to be low, so our cash flow should be really good going into years 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. It's non-recourse, 30-year amortization, fixed rate, so that and we have low leverage. So what we look for in debt. As far as the exit strategy, the reason we would probably, we'll see when we get there, the reason we would probably go 5 or 7 years is because at some point we might want to capture some cash out. And if we did a 10-year loan, then those 10-year loans with the agency come with really, really high prepayment penalties. And you'll hear things like, you can say things like defeasance, yield maintenance, prepayment penalties. All that means is that we're going to get hooked in fees. That's all what that means. So doing a shorter term note gives us that opportunity to, when it comes due in 5 or 7 years, we can do a refinance and pull some equity out if we wanted to. If we collectively say, let's pull a little bit out, and then re-up that 30-year and just roll it into another 5 or 7 years, 30-year note. So that is one of so it's called the cash out refinance, and that's why you would go, even though our business plan might be 10 years, why you would go with kind of a breathing point, the halfway mark, to get some cash out. Because otherwise, the only other way to do that was if you did a 10-year loan, we'd have to get approved to go supplemental, which is essentially like a second position, like a HELOC on your house, right? Or a home equity loan on your house. It's like the commercial version of that. So that would be the only other way that we could get cash out, is do that, and it's limited how much they'll let us pull out. Where if we did a full out or a cash refinance, we can say, hey, we might be able to pull out 10 million, but hey, we only want 3 million. We leave the rest of them, keep the debt low, right? And then at the 10-year, or whenever we get to the end of this, then we can decide, hey, does anybody want to jump out, or do we want to re-up this thing? Where's the market at?
And our goal is, when we talk about those refinance and things like that, the goal for this is to keep this property. Because you want to start adding properties inside. Our goal is like, how do we get these properties into our trust? Start putting them in the trust and start to pass those things down, or whatever the case may be. But let's say just in 2 years, we'll look at everything and say, how much capital can we return? My goal is to get your money back, because when you get your money back, it makes it
infinite at that.
It's infinite. It doesn't matter. You got all your initial capital back in your pocket, and they're just a cash flowing asset. You know what I'm saying? So you don't really have to sell those right now. Some say come through another crazy market cycle, say, man, we could trade up, or we say decide we're going to 1031, who's going out, or we say, hey, at the end of the year, say, hey, can you talk to the partner and see can we get out? Somebody want to maybe buy you out, or whoever want to buy you out. Somebody can split, buy you out, or whatever the case may be, to get those. But the goal is to the fastest we want to return capital. All right, so we may look at this thing in 2 years when we go per term or bridge to perm. When we may look at that, we may do the underwriting and say, oh man, the rates are great. We got appraised at this here. We can return 75 to 100%, 50%. We know one thing, we're going to be able to return capital back. That may be $250,000. If you put in $500,000, maybe $250,000, maybe 300. We're not going to know that. Now, I'll tell you what the deciding factors are is rates and how well our team. We got the best teams. Got John back here, our property managers and stuff like that. Getting those rents up, getting that NOI cash flow, and that cap rate. So y'all know in real estate, appraisals really don't mean too much of nothing. Properties are valued based off NOI cap rate. Right now, the cap rate it's up here. We're anticipating cap rates to start to drop, right? Because we got some rates, hopefully some cuts coming up this quarter. And then we should see maybe 12, 18 months. And it may work perfect. We may get rates all the way down. The lower the cap rate, the higher the value of the property. So you will, at our times, you know what I'm saying, when we get that property appraised, it can be really good, where we put a lot of cash out, return back to the investors. And then you say, okay, now you get the cash flow, you got $250,000 back in your pocket. What is your return on investment on top of that? And then we say, I'm going to cash out, refinance again another 3 years. The other $250 probably give you more than $250. That's when he's talking about, it doesn't matter that. You get thin returns forever. You know what I mean? So that can be worth whatever. That's how that works. Any other questions?
So last week I think she did get 2, and then we got 1 today. So that's fine.
So this is the third week.
Yeah.
This is our third week of operations.
Yeah,
so
we
the
got
third-
three leases.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
How many leases per month? They are getting how many leases per month? So
Okay.
it's 3
Well, we haven't
weeks.
been 1 month yet, but.
Yeah, it's 3 weeks and they
Yeah,
will
3
be
weeks.
3 leases.
Yeah. So the big, which is really good, the big thing that's gonna happen, like I said, like when we do takeovers, especially when it's a distress sale like this is nothing new to us, that occupancy is going to dip. So if you see me on the thing like, hey, occupancy's at like 75%, that's completely normal. It happens every single time. We were able to get in early and kind of get a heads up and mitigate it, but what sellers do, so for this, it's like, they want to keep occupancy up at 90% in order to close. So if those start getting loose with their applications and getting people in, or not filing eviction on people that they should have filed on to keep their numbers up through closing. And again, it happens every time. There's really nothing we can do about it. So, do this 20 times, we're pretty much ready for it. So normally when you do a takeover, operations are gonna dip. We're gonna clean out all the people, the problem residents that are causing issues, the people that are not paying. If there's any evictions that are just shoved in the desk, when we take over, we're gonna take care of all those. That usually takes a couple months, but then after that, we have much stricter criteria. So we're gonna start filling the community up with residents that actually hit our criteria and qualifications, and then and then we back up recovering. So we're not really gonna put the plan is to not really push rents right now. I gave them a lower limit and an upper limit on our execution plan, and I said as long as you're above this number and below, if you get to this number, great, but as long as you're above this number and anywhere in between, that'll be in enough range for us to hit the NOI that we need for the refinance in 2-3 quarters from now. So that's the goal. So that's the kind of rule book, playbook I gave them. It was like, hey, we just need to get the average rents to this level. We don't need to go all the way up to market this swing. We can catch them next time around, maybe a year. On the next renewal, we can get the full rents up to market. So right now it's that reposition phase, clean out all the bad residents, get the good ones in there, get them paying, get them on our rules and our community rules, and then after 3 months or so of everybody paying and NOI stable, we'll trigger that refinance, and then when the new renewals come around the next time, I call them Generation 2, so Generation 2 renewals, then we can push the rest up to market.
About the distress and the builder don't know how to rent, you don't know how to properly manage. One of the things that I did what you did, right, when I looked at the reviews on the place, a couple of reviews hinged around things like amenities not available.
Yep.
At those places. How attractive are we compared to the other complexes in the area on that?
I can actually answer that. So I've toured pretty much every competitor that we could in a day. And a lot of the amenities that we have our competitors that have, these are like income-based, low-income housing. So they have like these like really strict income caps. So you'll walk out of this like beautiful property and they got everything. And I had no idea that almost everything around us is income-based. And so I go on site and I'm like, hey, what are your rents? Their rents are still what we're asking, but they're capped out at like, household income 55,000.
So how is that an advantage for us? Because they might not be connected to
Yes.
us.
So for anybody that even comes into this market, even in this smaller market, 55,000 is like almost unlivable. Like you're not getting by with a family household income of 55.
Paying bills out.
so like whenever we're coming in, we're right up the highway, right? And then we got such great visibility that these people that are literally household income that's like 75 to 80,000, which is actually our main kind of target, they're having to come here, which any other true competitor that we have are actually these older duplex type properties where you start seeing like kind of more run down, just where they actually don't have amenities. So bringing this type of luxury at the rents that we're able to do because of the cost basis that we got, I almost have seen no competition for us. So that there's still going to be some dips because of like the evictions that we had to do and the what we weren't expecting or what they were telling us versus what we actually walked into. But overall, really positive, super excited about this market, and I think we're going to be 3 weeks. We already got a couple leases going.
Show the occupancy drop. So people will move out and they tell the property manager, hey, don't just sit on that until closing. So there's like literally a vacant unit like this, but on the rent roll, it's still showing like somebody's there, you know? And again, there's not much you can do about it. You know, and I used to get mad, but after doing it 20 times, it's just how it is. You know it's going to happen. So we were at like 90-92 at closing on paper, and then when we took over, we dropped down to a little bit below 80, and then now they already got the new leases. And I think there's like probably 7 units that are ready to rent or something. 10 units that are ready to rent already. That's already turned, ready to move in. So it's not like we're going to be sitting on it during doing a bunch of renovations, which is really good about doing new construction versus C-class. Because normally when I'm doing this, I have this occupancy drop, and I have like, hey, you got 20 units. I'm like, now I got to renovate this, and it's going to take me 6 months and $500,000 right out the gate to renovate units because we're doing C-class. Here, it's you go send a cleaning crew through, and that unit's ready. Johnny Cassie got like, what was it, like a dozen units ready in like 4 or 5 days or something? Yeah, but you can't do that on C-class. C-class, that a dozen units would literally take you like 4 months to do that, and $10,000-15,000 each unit. Here, send the cleaning crews through, $350, $500, units back on the market. So that's the advantage of going higher class properties, is the how fast you can turn them and reduce that time on market. That people are gonna seem like, oh, they have all this stuff. They don't qualify for those, right? Amenities that we are gonna be adding. So we have the gym, which we're going to use Anytime Fitness connections to get good equipment. So we're going to outfit that. That community room that's kind of off to the side, we're still kind of contemplating highest and best use for that. We make it a bigger leasing office. We turn it into like a multi-use office space for the residents. So we're probably going to sit on that for a minute, kind of go back and forth, maybe do a couple trial runs of different things and see what sticks. But we do have that one room off to the side when you came in. And then I'm sure we're going to walk around. Over on this side of the property, the only real green space we have is on the other side of this building, and we'll put a dog park there. And that will pretty much be it. We have a small playground. They just don't really get used anyway. They're just pretty much for pictures. Really, and that's like any of our properties. Like nobody uses them.
We got a little jacuzzi.
We'll try to do something with that. I don't want to do too much over by the pool because it's like right on the highway, and so I'd probably just do, if we did something, it'd be on the back or that dog park over on this side. But a lot of this resident that's here, they're not really looking for that stuff either. They're not going to pay extra because we have some cool spa thing. That's not this resident.
I know you got one, right?
I do have.
Yeah.
But
Right away.
it just seems like you said right at the start, right, Vince? I mean, I saw a lot of open space. Do you expect that in time to just start slowly filling?
Yes. So if you want to see what this is going to look like, if you want, I don't know how long you're here for, but travel 287 back west. The area, the first time you're going to hit is Waxahachie, probably 10 minutes away. The next town after that is Midlothian, and probably another 10 minutes. And then the town after that is Mansfield, another 10 minutes. When we first got into this market a couple years ago, I went to the economic development office, both in Mansfield and Midlothian, and I went out with the mayor of Waxahachie for like half a day. Each one of them almost had identical plans of 287. And there was 4% of land on 287 between Waxahachie and Mansfield that wasn't already zoned and permitted for development. And most of that was retail, industrial, warehousing, like things that are bringing jobs. It wasn't just like a bunch of sea houses. They have that. I saw a bunch of that, but a lot of it is manufacturing. Each one of those towns had like their little niche. Like Waxahachie's going big on data centers and that types of stuff. Midlothian, it was going big on distribution. Out here is going big on distribution because the highway's right here. Mansfield is going big on white collar jobs. So they're big in one of those like not 15-minute cities, but like live and play type cities where they're trying to get white collar jobs in Mansfield. So each of them had their own little niche, but yeah, on the map it was 4% of land on 287 between here and Mansfield that wasn't already zoned and approved and permitted for growth. Now it's just the money so all the money dried up. Doesn't mean that those plans aren't there, they're just shelved. A lot of the developers just have them shelved until rates come down, money gets a little bit cheaper, then they'll just restart them all. So,
And if you guys look at Treasury just dropped again today.
yep. So, yeah, so, if you wanna see what this is gonna look like, in a couple years, like go to Midlothian. And we saw the same thing like Midlothian, it's probably been 2 years since we bought our first property in Midlothian and the town's not even recognizable. Even just since we bought Henderson.
Yeah, everything off 287, like Ben said, good Jesse probably tell you, he's a realtor here too as well. But just like anywhere else, so many jobs are coming out from California. People just leaving California and moving here. Not just California, I'm from California. But not just California. But people are coming here. They come here, and when they can come here and they can sell their house in Cali, right, for X amount of million. Come out here and buy $600,000 house. They're picking up 2 houses. They're doing it in San Antonio. They're doing it in Austin. They're doing all this. What is happening is they driving prices up. And Mike can tell you, everybody here in Texas, man, you can get you a big old house for about $250,000, $300,000. Those days are gone, completely gone. You're $1 million you're going to get it for sale. All right, $1 million. And what happened is, and y'all know this, right? When those prices go up, the rents go up. When the rents go up, the people that live there got to go to the left, they got to go to the right. And guess where they're going to go? They're going to come on, get on down here. You know what I mean? So it's going to say where I want to be. I want to be where great schools at. These are great schools in this area. And people that don't want that city life, they're going to come here. It's a lot of Texans, right, that live right outside of Dallas that's being priced out right now. Want to come what's more affordable, all right? And affordable to them is like, oh man, I got city rates down here. City rates that they used to pay. And guess what? Those prices are going to bring demand. We continue to increase rents, all right? So that's why we say we're looking at that population growth. And you can look anywhere in DFW. I always tell people this. You can close your eyes, you can put your finger anywhere on the map, there's a population growth. The only way you don't see a population growth is those older cities, urban, they are built down, right? They are 1%, 0.5%. But anywhere you can go like this. It doesn't matter. Fort Worth, there's going to be a strong population growth. But when you're looking at the strongest growth, right, especially in the South, it's here. It's without a doubt. And our goal was, hey, we came through 287, we learned about 287. Businesses in these industrials that we talking about, they strategic are putting their business on 287 for the trucks can be easy to come out.
So you got 45 and you got 35. Yeah. So 287 is east to west, pretty much runs the whole state east to west, and then you got 45 going down to Houston, and 35 wherever 35 goes. Austin, yeah. And it's like, but yeah, so everyone that we talk to, like economic development, they're all coming. These big Fortune 500 companies are onshoring, so they're taking the tariffs and everything. They're manufacturing overseas, and this happened even before Trump got back in. This is even back in 2021, 22. This was the story we're hearing, is that it's just getting too expensive. If y'all remember that whole shipping debacle during COVID, like that's what really started the whole onshoring thing. Like it wasn't the recent tariffs. It was that shipping debacle with COVID caused so much damage to these companies that they started figuring out how to onshore a lot of their manufacturing and distribution. And every single one of them, when I was with the economic developments, was like, yeah, these companies, Fortune 500 companies, distributions, manufacturing, are either moving in new, or if they're here, they're expanding. And strategically, 287, 35, and 45 are the distribution channels. Midlothian has a little bit extra benefit because it has a rail line as well, which is, again, 2 towns over. So, this is a great
area. And these developers, they're smart. They're building these data centers, and they know it's going to be data centers and what we call the flex spaces.
Yeah, flex spaces.
Flex space for industrial. You'll see them start to get built. They're going to absorb those. They're just waiting, right? When people are smart, right? When these guys are there with billions and billions of dollars, and they see, rates went up. All right, let's cross out. Just cost too much to build. I mean, soon rates go down. Let's go. Money flowing. And when money flowing, development kick off again. And we see it. They go to Frisco up there, so man, it's like they don't care what the rates are. They going crazy up there. Every time I go there, I'm about to get hit by a semi truck. That's how many semi trucks that's going all through there. That's how crazy they building out there for sure. To this day, right now. No, think you got something else? No. Okay.
Appreciate y'all coming through here. We'll meet y'all at dinner. I'm super excited, and I hope, you know what I'm saying, that I know this is a great investment. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I'm super excited about it. And you know, thank you guys, some great partners. And it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. So
Thanks to you and Vince for making this happen. It's just
Yeah.
like, you did all of the work. Thank you.
thank you.
And for dodging all those attorneys.
They had like total about $200,000 in attorney fees on that whole deal.
It was the highest yet. The highest yet.
All right, so we're gonna get ready to roll out. Are you looking to become a passive or active investor in multifamily real estate? Or maybe you're at the point where you ran out of cash for not having any systems and processes or the right resources in place. Investing in real estate is an excellent way to start building multiple streams of income, but it can become challenging if you fail to overlook market analysis like selecting the right location, researching the current market trends, and finding the right property management company. You don't have to have a formal education in business or real estate to reach the success you desire. You just need a proven blueprint. Hey, I'm Duran Bethea, and I've been an entrepreneur and an investor since 2003. I started investing at the age of 20 when I was active duty military as a full-time soldier, and now I've created over $100 million in business and real estate assets and currently host Hawaii's largest yearly business and real estate conference. If you do not know where to start, or maybe your investment properties are not profitable, you're not alone. That's why I created the Business and Real Estate Blueprint, a comprehensive course with insights, practical strategies, and actionable tools that can help you build and grow a real estate portfolio. If you're ready to start building generational wealth, click here to learn more.